You know, the last thing I like to do is make too many serious videos in a row, because the last thing we need is for people to take me too seriously. But it seems like there's been a lot of serious stuff happening lately, so I've been getting a lot of serious questions, so as much as I don't like it, I gotta make another serious video tonight. Now, the question I want to address tonight is another question about the Bundy Ranch issue. It's basically people asking me, do I think that certain members of the gun community, mainly the TheHossUSMC and James Yeager, embarrassed us by going out there and defending this guy, or going out there and bearing arms against the government? And I know a lot of people think that, yeah, they did, and it's always the minority that's making us look bad. It's the vocal minority, you know, in any group that makes the whole group look bad. Now, that's true in almost any group, really. That principle itself is sound, because it's always in any group you have where most of the people in that group are, you know, normal, everyday, you know, hardworking people that have stuff to do. So sometimes we don't pay attention as much as we should, and because of that, we allow the most embarrassing among us to become the most visible among us. It's what I like to call the tutu principle. If you have a group of 20 people and 19 of them are looking normal, sounding normal, and making sense, and one of them is standing up on a table in a pink tutu and a leather jockstrap shouting Nazi propaganda, who do you think the media is going to film, and who do you think is going to make the news that night? But that being said, I don't think that applies here. I fully support what the TheHossUSMC and James Yeager did, and I'll tell you why. There's two reasons really why I really support what they did, and I really applaud what they did. Now, the first reason I agree with what they did is because the BLM came in like jackbooted thugs and really overreached their authority and really abused their power. They came in and put their boot heel on the throats of people before they even did anything wrong, and came in and said, yeah, well, we know you're going to do something wrong, so we're going to come in with overwhelming force and just intimidate you into not doing something wrong. And that's not how this country works. This country isn't founded on intimidation and fear. It's founded on free speech. And they tried to stifle that from the beginning, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. So I think people like James Yeager and the TheHossUSMC should be applauded for standing up and saying, hey, we're not going to tolerate that. We're going to come out here and we're going to make sure people are being heard. We're going to meet force with force, and we're going to make sure that their rights aren't being trampled. That alone for me was enough reason to support what they did. I applaud what they did. You know, I don't think they were an embarrassment at all. If anybody was embarrassed by what they did, you're not paying attention. Well, maybe James Yeager's, you know, his fashion sense is always a little bit embarrassing. But what they were doing, what they're saying was spot on as far as I'm concerned. Now, I know the media wants to make it all about this one guy, this Cliven Bundy, and whether we should have stood up for him, whether we should have made him our poster child. We weren't making him our poster child. What we were saying is the government can't treat law-abiding citizens like this and just have us sit by and do nothing. They did something. So it's not about that one person, no matter how much the media wants to make it about that. That's not what it was about, and that's why I support what they did. Now, the second reason, and an even bigger reason that I support what they did, is if you listen to the media and the anti-gun people, we are nothing but a bunch of bloodthirsty, you know, trigger-happy thugs, looking for a reason to be violent, looking for a reason to start trouble. Now, it would be very easy to say the people that did show up for this Bundy Ranch, these weren't the teetotalers. These weren't the, you know, the common everyday gun rights supporters. These were the hardcore people. These were, and if you want to say it in a negative way, these were the fringe element. You know, these were the guys that would be the most bloodthirsty, the most trigger happy. But you know what happened when they got there? Nothing. There wasn't more violence, there was less. No one pulled a trigger, no one started a conflict. When they got there, things got better. So to me, that doesn't show we're a bunch of trigger-happy thugs. That shows the opposite. That shows even the most militant among us aren't there to cause trouble. We're there to do what's right. So as much as the media would like to make it about this one guy, so that they can just demean this one guy, make him look like a jerk, and then it makes the whole movement look like jerks. Well, that isn't going to work because it wasn't about this one guy. It was about something much bigger. So if you ask me, this wasn't an embarrassment. It wasn't the wrong thing to do. These people did the exact right thing, because they gave a perfect example of what armed citizens, just ordinary, everyday American citizens, can do when we have to do it. When we have to stand up and do the right thing, we can do the right thing. You ain't even my real dad. Motherfucker. Did I not record any of that goddamn shit? God damn it. Take two, I guess. Yeah, it's on.